Henry Burris TV is brought to you by Hockey Central Sports Memorabilia, Sylvan Lake, and Supreme Menswear, simply the best. Okay, a couple of weeks ago, I said, when Saskatchewan's coming in town, you're going to have to do the Shiv story. What? Because so many people in Saskatchewan really don't know what happened. They looked at Henry leaving Saskatchewan to come to here, and they classed him as a bit of a jerk because he left Saskatchewan. But there's a reason for it. And folks, tonight, I think we should talk about that, Henry. Let's get your side of the story up. What happened with negotiations between you and the Shiv, and what was the determining factor to become a Stampeder again, as opposed to staying in Saskatchewan? The easier move would have been to stay, right?
Yeah, of course, the easier move would have been to stay. But I think one thing people always forget is that originally I was a Stampeder before I became a rider.
Yeah.
I started off here with my career for the first couple of seasons and went to Saskatchewan in 2000. When I was released from the Bears and came back, I wanted to become a rider for a long time. And that's why I told them, that's why I came back. Trust me, I had other teams who offered me more, but trust me, I took a huge pay cut to come to Saskatchewan, you know, over a couple $100,000 just to come to Saskatchewan. And I told my wife that, hey, we will make up for this, you know, because they told me as long as I came back and did what I was supposed to do in Saskatchewan, put this team in the best case scenario to win a Grey Cup, they would make me their starter. I did everything I could in 2004, going to the West Final, played my butt off, and unfortunately we came up on the short end going into overtime with the Lions. After that game, you know, after I saw some of the remarks by the Shiv, you know, in regards to, you know, one of the great kickers of our time missing a kick wide to the left, and I won't say any names as we all know who it was, you know, Paul McCallum. He said as long as he would have made the kick, we would have won the game.
Sure.
Well, in my eyes, I'm like, you can't attack one guy because one guy does not lose a game.
Yep.
There were many other occasions that lost the game for us.
Yep.
So that kind of ruffled some feathers there as far as with our relationship. But if you look further into it, he said that, yeah, if you do what you need to do to get us to the Grey Cup and put us in the best case scenario to be champs, I will pay you starter money. What else could I have done?
Yeah.
I couldn't have done any more. I sacrificed for 2 years to be a rider at that time. I was even a backup at the time. And so they came to me and said, well, you still haven't proved to us that you're that guy. We'll pay you X amount of dollars. However, once I looked at what D-Line was making, we were pretty much making the same amount of money at the end of the day. And when they came to me and said, well, in your contract, what your wife is going to make for her job is in your contract as well, that pretty much ended everything, because you want me as a player. My wife does not play for you. And when some of the comments were made, like if her ass doesn't show up for a day of work, she won't get paid. And I'm like, well, I'm not even going to talk to you anymore after this.
Okay, well, what's this whole thing about your wife? I mean,
it's crazy because my thing is, if we were coming back to Saskatchewan, my wife wanted an opportunity to continue her career as well.
Yes.
And so we were just saying that, hey, with us coming back, can you help my wife find a job? Because this is what her focus is marketing and business and everything, and she wants to continue her career, not just to be, you know, sitting around in Regina without anything to do. You know, there's so much to do in Regina, but, you know, she wanted to make sure she had something to do while she was there.
But she doesn't curl, so, I mean, you're screwed.
Yeah, she's not a curler, you know, not too much ice where we come from, but yeah. But the thing was, once they found out about that, they said, well, we have her a job and we're going to put her earnings into your contract.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, are you signing me or are you signing me and my wife? Because we've already sacrificed for this team once. And this career is such short-lived, as we all know. One play and you're done. Yep. We have to maximize our opportunities. I've already taken a step back to suit your needs and to be able to make sure we're under salary cap and all that. But you said as long as I came in and did my job to help this team be successful, get to a Grey Cup, what more could a man have done in that West Final in 2004?
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything more I could have done. And at that time, talking to my agent, talking with my family, it was time for us to move on. And when Calgary made the move and brought in the right management, of course, you know, got rid of the dog and pony show. Yeah. Calgary was my destiny because I had enjoyed my time here and wanted to be the starting quarterback in this market. But of course, my first choice was to be the Riders quarterback. But once I was told those things, you know, do you want to work with a person like that? I don't think so.
See, and when you came available, you weren't brought in. Dave Dickinson wasn't brought in because the owner had a son that wanted to play quarterback.
Right,
And
exactly.
so you were really up against it no matter what.
Exactly.
But that's just wild about Saskatchewan. And of course, you know, the way they treated McCallum, and his career pretty much went into, no, it didn't, did it? What's he got? He's got a streak going that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And the older he gets, it seems the better. Sure, he's got a little distance off the old ball, but he's still kicking it. So two of the key elements to that run, and that was one of the most horrific things in the history of Saskatchewan sports, but it happens.
I mean, we're at the point where if we had lost one more game, we were done in the playoffs. We ran off 8 straight victories and got to the West Final.
Yeah.
And for him to miss the kick and then people to pretty much respond the way they did. Of course, it wasn't the entire, you know, Rough Rider pride. I mean, great fans. I mean, I love the fan base there, and that's why I always enjoy going back and playing games there. I enjoy when they come here because you know it's that type of atmosphere you love to play in that you grew up looking forward to playing in. So I've never went on record and said it's the entire Rough Rider fan base, but come game day, I want to beat them, just like on, you know, just like when we play the Riders here at McMahon. But the bottom line is when those fans who were involved in that whole scandal responded that way and put, you know, his wife and his 2 young daughters' lives in jeopardy. I mean, that was a sad thing for us to grasp when we're getting on an airplane and trying to hurry him back to Regina, and then to hear a guy who's supposedly our leader respond that way and not taking any type of, you know, ill will towards the people who, you know, committed such an act towards his family, and not mentioning anything about that, but more so coming out, protecting his back and saying, well, if he had made the damn kick, it wouldn't have happened. You know, to me, that's not a person I want to play with, a person with no feelings towards anyone beyond himself. But I thank Shiv for everything he did for me, bringing me into this league, and I will never, you know, say anything bad about him as what, you know, as far as a player personnel guy. But for those actions, that's the reason why I didn't resign.
And here you are, happily ever after.
Love it here.